I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. And I'd like to ask everyone on Zoom or on the phone to keep your lines muted unless we are speaking, unless you are speaking. Steve on. Not here. So I'm gonna turn to Keith, Dr. Berrigan, and ask if he could call the roll.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Steve on, is he with us on Zoom? Olivia Bailey. Delegate Jason Ballard. Present. Esther Bowling. Delegate Betsy Carr.
Present.
April Crabtree. Present. Brett Danilowicz. Here. Lou Fincher. Here. Senator Travis Hackworth. Here. Donna Henry. Here. Adam Hutchinson.
Here.
Scott Kemp.
Here.
Sarah Jane Kirkland. Present. Allison Mays. Here. Rachel Miller. Here. David Olive. Keith Perichin is here. Senator Todd Pillion.
Here.
Delegate Sam Rasool. Delegate Brianna Sewell. Karen Shelton. Paula Song. Here. Donna Stanley. Here. Sophie Chafin Vance. And potentially Adam Kane from the Office of the Attorney General.
Yes, sir.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Keith. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the June 8th, 2023 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve those June 8th, 2023 minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Also, we need to approve the minutes from the December 14th, 2023 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries as well. So both of those sets of minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda, I'd like to just thank the outgoing board members, Delegate Moorfield and Delegate Quinn. We serve in the General Assembly at the pleasure of our in majority party, and we are remiss that they are no longer on this board. They were great board members for the Higher Ed Center, and we're thankful for their service. On the same token, we definitely want to welcome Delegate Betsy Carr. Betsy has been in the General Assembly for a few years, right, Betsy?
That's right, 14.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of serving with her when I was in the House. She's a great delegate that represents the city of Richmond, and she'll also be a great board member here. We're also welcoming Delegate Brianna Sewell from Prince William County, and she's not on the line, but she'll also make a great board member. So welcome to all you. And Betsy, hopefully we can get you down here to tour the facility in Southwest Virginia. All right. Next up on the agenda is the executive director, his report. I'm sure he's going to talk to us about the great things that great people here at this great place are doing.
Great place doing great things because of great people.
Okay.
It takes a great board. So welcome everybody. I'm so glad you're here, especially a great chairman, Senator. Before I get into my report, I have a surprise guest for all of us today. Chandra Warren comes from us from Carroll County, and I bumped into her yesterday, and she was just bragging. I said, oh, Chandra, could you just please come to the Higher Education Center board tomorrow? So Chandra, like Chandelier, right?
Shanda.
Okay, sorry, come on up. And she's just gonna take a second. And as she's coming, let me tell you about her. For over 20 years now, we have hosted the regional robotics robot competition for the state. And Carroll County usually has 11, 12 teams, and every year they have to fight over who gets to come here. We usually have about 27, 28 teams, and they bring 6 here. She's going to talk a little bit about that. But they qualified as state champion to represent us in the state tournament. We're state champions at the state level and qualified for the national and international competition in Los Angeles. Along the way, we sponsored them. And when they got to the international competition, Carroll County, which we all represent Carroll County here, received the only Engineer Excellence Award in the international competition. So I'm going to give you a minute or two to say whatever you want to say. So congratulations.
The children who work very hard to do this, and these are middle school kids, this particular team. But Lego is 4th grade through 8th grade. But anyway, on behalf of those kids, I thank you. On behalf of the 2 coaches that worked really hard. Those kids learned Python. That is a language that I could not speak. But I will tell you this, that I can't say enough good things about this facility. The first year that we had our one single team, that was 9 years ago in 2015, we came here. And ever since then, we've come here. The facility is absolutely beautiful, and you all know that, but how they set it up is it actually matches what the state does at James Madison University. And then if you go beyond, it all matches, and they have the light show, they have the music, they have the excitement for the kids, and they treat our children very well. You're in good hands with these kids that are coming up. Some things that I wanted to share with you all, that David did help us with our travel expenses. We are Carroll.
The center helped you, not David.
I'm sorry. Thank you. But Carroll County, if you know anything about us, we're less than 30,000 people. We have to be careful how much we draw from that less than 30,000 people. So we have to reach out often to do something like we've done. So thank you very much to the center for doing that. I want to give each of you a very personal invitation. A lot of you already have the invitation because I know that you come, but I want to invite you, if you've never been, come here in November in 2024 and see what it's all about. You will absolutely be amazed and blown away, first at the show that's put on here, but the kids that come to participate in that, they give up their time, the coaches give up their time, it's all volunteers, as is your folks here at the Higher Ed Center. The folks that volunteer here, they know their stuff. We've been to other competitions. Some of our teams have to go to other places, but nobody knows what they're judging like the volunteer judges here at the Higher Ed Center. They know the game, they know what's expected, they know the core values, and they are very unbiased. They're very honest with their judging. And that's critical to these kids because the kids can pick up on that real quick. I think that could be all. I think that could be it, but I just wanted to thank you again for letting me come.
Thank you. I was here yesterday. This past week, we hosted a 2-day conference. I don't know if it was Radford, could have been Radford's event, the Gifted Consortium. And so she was here for that. I do want to say that while we are a great place doing great things because of great people, the majority of the great people that make that robotics happen, and they have for many years, is this back row right here. And so thank you. He's been the chief coordinator for a long time, and this year, is that still Nikki? Yeah.
I'm the tournament director, Joyce, volunteer.
Yeah, so if you're interested in volunteering, let me know. We have slots to fill.
We'll keep you posted.
Shameless plug.
We'll keep you posted. We'd love for you to come and stay with us. Now, Chandra, as I mentioned to you earlier, you do not have to sit through this meeting. You can go back to beautiful Carroll County if you like. Before I get into the financial piece, I want to point out a couple things to you. Behind the second green folder where it says Conference Services Report, you're going to see that Hannah and her team, that we had over 760 event reservations, 3,600 individual bookings so far this year. And the other day, Senator Gilliam was asking me, have we recovered from COVID? Yes, sir, we have. We had about 58,000 people so far this year come through for conference services events, and it's about $276,000 in revenue there. So I wanted to point that out. That's in your packet. Behind the next tab, I want to talk about Sonia's division for a second. Just in the spring alone, 1,235 middle school, elementary kids were served through our educational outreach using the coding and the robots and the drones. And then we did about that many, her department did about that many in the fall. So it's about 2,500 students that are coming through here. And so they're doing a wonderful job. And then behind the, I guess we'll call that orange, or Virginia Tech orange. I'm not sure what we call that. But I want you to take a notice that all the academic partners here, I want to brag on your representatives. They represent your organization well. And so there's a lot of exciting things going on here, and they do a great job. And many times you get to hear from them, and today you will get to hear from two of our partners. So let me just get right into my piece, and that's the current budget and the approval of the upcoming budget. And that's behind the first blue tab. I like to tell people all the time that we are a very efficient and effective organization, and we are as a state agency. And so revenues were up this year and expenses were down. So we were well within budget in every category, with the exception of maybe a few kilowatts of electricity. You can see there on the front page, I'll go through these real quickly. You'll see the approved budget from last year, the projected budget, and that's projected how we think we're going to end on June 30th, and then the proposed budget for 2025. Total general revenue, you can see there was $2.8 million in general funds, and then in non-general fund revenue, we project we're going to raise about, bring in about $885,000, and then we had some carry forward there of about $2 million, which brought our total state revenue to $5,773,000. You can notice down at the bottom in the non-general breakdown, you can see that we budgeted, we thought we would have about $778,000 in revenue this year, but we exceeded that at $883,000, which is almost 100, well, it is a little over 100,000 more revenue than we projected. And so you can see on the right side, using those numbers, we are proposing very similar numbers for FY25. If you open it up, you'll see it's broken down into personal services and other than personnel services. And you'll see that on the approved budget for personal services personnel was $2,567,000. And that's if everybody worked every hour that we approved and every part-time person did everything. So you can see that we're going to come in under budget there at about 2.3 million. But just in case, because we're all getting a 3%, state employees are getting a 3% pay raise, we budgeted for that. So you can see that we propose a raise of a 2.6 million in that category for FY25. On the other than personal services, the biggest area that we probably missed projections is the very first line item, and that's utilities. If we went back 2 years ago, our utilities were running us 170, 180,000. Last year we did just under 225, and this year it's going to be about $242,000. Other than that, everything was pretty much in line. You can see that with maintenance reserve, we had about $1.8 million in our maintenance reserve fund. We're only going to spend about $530,000 of that, which the balance will be carried forward. In the General Assembly, I think you appropriated about another $300,000 for us, and that's reflected on the front page. Our maintenance reserve for next year is $1.6 million. Under supplies and equipment, everything is pretty standard, except we did invest in a few more pieces of electronic equipment, which we went over budget there. But under contractual services, we were pretty much well in line, bringing total operating expenses to about $4.6 million. I do want to point out that we have some major projects that are not going to be show up as expenses this year that I'd hoped to. We are working with VACC to replace the sign at the bottom of the road with a new digital sign. And that's a fairly expensive project that we're partnering with VACC on. We're going through a whole entire new web page redesign. We're building a clock out front, and then we're doing some internal signage that's going to change some directional sign here for the building. And those projects, when all brought together, about $200,000. So if you look at this budget and you pull out pull out maintenance reserve and the apprenticeship program, you're going to see we had a positive cash flow this year of about $250,000. Had we got these projects in and completed, we would have only had a positive cash flow of about $50,000. We do have some other big projects coming down the road, and we hope to have be able to report on those in December. But you can see that the proposed FY25 budget pretty much parallels with a few adjustments for inflation and the DRS raises. So if there's no question, I'll answer any question that you might have. But if there's no question, Mr. Chairman, we do have an action item. We do need to approve the proposed budget for FY25, again, if there are no questions.
Any questions for Mr. Matlock on the presentation that you've just heard? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the FY25 budget as presented? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the FY25 budget as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
The final thing that's on my report is just to give you an update on the regional simulation lab. We talked about that at the December meeting, and you'll see when you go down for the reception, on display are some of the checks that you saw this past winter. But Joy has been busy grant writing, and we have netted about $1.8 million in grants so far. We still have some outstanding grants, but the project is moving forward and moving forward quickly. Not as quickly as I would like. I was hoping that it would be totally operational by this fall, but it doesn't move that fast, does it, President Hutchinson? Okay, even when you roll down the hill, it doesn't work that fast. We hope by the December meeting have some more things to show you, and hopefully it'll be fully operational early spring semester of 2025. I do want to say before I do sit down, you know, I get the privilege to walk around this community and talk about that we are a great place, doing great things because of great people. But I can tell you that that's all I do. I get to talk about it. The hard work is done by the team here, and we have a great team. And Adam's going to be talking about some of those individuals in a second. And before I do sit down, I want to thank Kathy and her team for the hard work they do to make sure that we have an effective board meeting. And Hannah's got the food ready. I think so. Just thank you so much. Okay. All right. That's my report. Unless there's questions for me, Senator.
Any questions about his report or anything that you've heard from Mr. Matlock today? That was a great report from a great person in a great place. You obviously are doing great things here. So
we are doing great things.
we are, yes, everyone is. In fact, next on the agenda, we have the HR, the administration report by Dr. Tolbert.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, members of the board. And first thing we'll continue discussing on the great track here is the people aspect. So starting a few years ago, we decided during our June board meetings to recognize those here who had state service anniversaries, and in your package, you have a list of those there. And first one on the list is, of course, no stranger to this group, Kathy Heidler, who has celebrated 20 years of state service this year.
20 years and 10 of them she had to put up with me. So congratulations, Ken. It'll be 10 years in November, I believe. We're real close to that. Congratulations, you go.
Thank you.
And if you throw it at me, it won't hurt.
And we invited all these folks to be with us today. Sherry Buskill really wanted to be here today. We're going to make up for her in December. She is unfortunately out on some extended leave due to an injury, so we'll have to catch up with her in December. We also are celebrating with 10 years Cecil DeMore and Gertrude Turner on our housekeeping team here at the center. So he helped keep the place looking really spick and span and nice, and they do a really great job with that. Also, some other great folks here, Sean Webb in our marketing department, 10 years, and Nicholas Osborne in their IT and maintenance department area, 3 years of service. So appreciate them. We'll get them their plaque and catch up with them later. So turning over, the second item you'll have from me is a resolution authorizing the establishment of a campus security department and employment of campus security personnel. It's a long title there. So a little background on this. We here at the center currently have contracted security force. And we've been looking, of course, about a year since I've been primarily overseeing our security operation. I know all of us in this room and operating the educational and governmental spaces, security and safety are big concerns. So we were looking into the idea and prospect of employing as our own employees, the state employees, those who have engaged in security services. And we started researching that and ran down the road on that and found out from advice from the Attorney General, actually, you don't need a law change to do that. So that led to us, of course, talking with Senator Hogan and Delegate O'Quinn to get the law changed, to get the General Assembly to pass, to give us that enabling authority. So that bill passed this past legislative session, and the governor did sign it. So it will be the law of Virginia come July 1. Also, we have to thank Delegates Rasul and Sewell for helping us shepherd this through the Education Committee on the House side to get through a few things there. So, but it made it through. And working with the Office of the Attorney General, which I've talked extensively with Adam King, who's on the Zoom call with us, another Adam here today. we've come up, the board under the statute has to take action to activate the statute come July 1st. So what I wrote here in the Attorney General's office has looked over and reviewed is a resolution to do that come July 1st. We can go ahead and take this action today, but it won't be effective until July 1. That way, we all won't have to come back in July or August or September or later to activate this resolution. Are there any questions, or I'd be happy if the chair would like to entertain any questions on this?
Any question for Dr. Tolbert about this, establishing the resolution that we're going to pass, hopefully establishing the security department? Okay, if hearing none, if I could get a motion to adopt the resolution establishing the security department as presented by Dr. Tolbert.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And final thing, just information only. I'd like to give you all a report of our personnel changes since the last meeting. Third item we'll have a tab for my section of the list of that. And one wage hire and three wage employee departures. And it also gives you our current field position information.
All right, thank you, Adam. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, appreciate it. Thank you all.
All right, next on the agenda, we're going to hear from my good friend, Jenny Nichols, who's going to be giving us the a UVA WISE report. Jenny's the program director for Go Virginia for Region 1. Welcome.
Thank you.
And she's also chair of the Washington County School Board.
Yeah, in fact.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mr. Chair and esteemed board members, it is an honor to be here. And as Senator Pillion mentioned, I am the president for Go Virginia for Region 1. And UVA WISE is a management entity for Go Virginia here in Southwest Virginia. And unfortunately, our Associate Vice Chancellor, Randy Rose, couldn't be here today. And so I absolutely jumped at the chance, at the opportunity to be able to share with you the latest developments we have here for our programming for UVA WISE at the Higher Ed Center. I was also told Senator Pillion prefers brevity, so I'm going to keep it short. But first and foremost, I want to send a warm welcome to Sharon Bowling, our new education and professional program director. She just joined us last week, but her expertise, life experience, and dedication will undoubtedly contribute greatly to the success of our programs. Sharon, do you mind to stand up and just introduce yourself tonight? We're really excited for her to be here. And at UVA WISE, we're committed to offering professional development and workforce training throughout the region. And we have really exciting plans in the works to enhance both our academic and non-academic programs and workforce development, ensuring that we continue to meet the evolving needs of our community. And I'm also pleased to report for Go Virginia, we've been actively engaging with localities and nonprofits to strengthen our project pipeline. So over the last 9 months in particular, we've seen a notable increase in strong applications, raised awareness of Go Virginia's valuable opportunities, and this progress and growth are truly exciting for our program and the region as a whole. So in your board packet, you'll find many highlights that I hope you guys read about from our recent initiatives, including the Southwest Virginia Economic Forum, Rally Southwest Virginia, Opportunities to Appalachia, and the various activities we have at the Oxbow Center in St. Paul. These events showcase the dedication and hard work our team does in aiding economic development and fostering regional collaboration. Lastly, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the board for supporting UVA WISE presence here at the Higher Ed Center. We're thrilled to be able to contribute to economic development initiatives Southwest, and we're also committed to providing our unwavering support. Please know that we're here, we're accessible. Randy, Sharon, myself are ready to assist you guys any way that we possibly can. So thank you for your time and continued support.
Thank you, Jenny. And UVA WISE is certainly a great partner with the Higher Ed Center and a great institution and great university from Southwest Virginia. And we appreciate that Donna, Chancellor Henry, is always at these meetings and serves on the executive committee, and we appreciate her and all that she's doing as well. So thank you for that update. Next, speaking of a great four-year university for Southwest Virginia, we have, I think Dr. Fincher has accepted a new title of late.
Official till August 1.
All right, well.
It seems as though it's happening now.
The paper seems to have said it. So welcome, and we look forward to the update. You're going to be giving on the Southwest Virginia Healthcare Excellence Academy Lab School update.
Yes, thank you. And Danny Lee put in the packet or submitted for inclusion in the packet a written report. And so I'm actually just standing in for Danny just to give an update. I know he gave a pretty extensive update in your last meeting. And so I'm not going to go over all of that, but I'll just say that we did receive approval back in April for our HEALS grant for the operational expense of 3.85 million plus 1 million in startup funds. And many of the people in this room actually serve on our governing board for the HEALS program. Shortly after being approved, as many of you may be aware, then with the approval of the new budget, some new guidelines were put in place that then required us as a private institution or any of the community colleges that were approved to actually partner with a fiscal agent that's a four-year public. So I'm pleased to say that we have partnered with Old Dominion University, and looks like it's going to be a very healthy partnership for us, even beyond the HEALS program. But so the guidelines for that is that we had to submit or Old Dominion had to submit an application for being our fiscal agent, and that went in to meet the deadline yesterday. It'll be reviewed by the Board of Education next Thursday. I'll go to Richmond to be there for that, and we expect that to be approved. So hopefully, when that happens, then we can be able to move forward. We, as many of you know, we had a soft start or soft opening with a cohort of students this past spring semester. And that was 48 students. We have already accepted the new class of students pending approval and getting the funds of 50 students. One has decided to go a different direction, so we'll have 49. So we'll have just shy of 100 students in the combined cohorts for next fiscal year, or next academic year. The center serves as one of the instructional sites, does a phenomenal job in offering a space. And I know that an office space for Danny and Mr. Davidson, our executive director and assistant director. So we look forward in terms of moving forward. I know Danny wanted me just to share some of the things related to upcoming schedules. I know that they start classes on August 13th. The students will be present here. So the Washington County and the Bristol City Schools will come here to the center for instruction in the morning, return to their home school in the afternoon. The Washington Wythe and Smith will come to our Emory and Henry Health Sciences campus in Marion for instruction, and then return to their home school in the afternoon. We're excited to have this program. It's a great opportunity to provide students with the experience to explore healthcare careers. And so we certainly appreciate partnering and having a site here at the center, which provides excellent opportunity for the students. So, thank you.
Any questions? Sorry, any questions? I actually do have a question. Since no one else is asking. So I carried this bill through the General Assembly. And I was a budget conferee, and we worked to make sure that Emory and Henry could continue the private, right? I'm somewhat surprised, though, that you picked your fiscal agent to be ODU rather than a UVA or a Radford in Southwest Virginia.
And I wasn't as involved in that decision-making, but we were somewhat guided by the Secretary of Ed. I know that we had just partnered with Old Dominion on a teach out for a program that we had done with our nursing. And so that, I think, led to some ongoing conversations there.
Okay.
We also knew that we had originally had conversations with UVA-wise when we first began the layout of the HEALS program that we expected to expand into Wise County. We didn't end up doing that for the initial submission, but I would hope that we could continue to expand into that area as we grow that program, because it is all about serving Southwest Virginia.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely, and I would be remiss if, being the senator that represents UVA-wise, if I didn't ask why they were the fiscal agent, and that money would be returned to Southwest Virginia rather than to Tidewater. But that decision has obviously been guided by someone else that I need to have a conversation with. So thank you very much. All right.
No. So, next up, the nominating committee, we have Olivia Bailey. At the December 2023 meeting, I appointed Olivia Bailey, Delegate Ballard, and Adam Hutchinson as members of an officer nominating committee in anticipation of electing board officers at today's meeting. And I'm now going to call upon Miss Bailey for nominating committee's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have appreciated your leadership and guidance. The nominating committee has respectfully submitted 3 nominees for board officers. For chairman, we submit Senator Travis Hackworth. For vice chairman, Senator Todd Villian. And for secretary, Steve On would remain in that position. And at the appropriate time, I have a motion.
Okay, so you've heard the report from the nominating committee. Are there any further nominations, or is there a motion to elect a slate of officers as presented by the nominating committee to the positions reported by the nominating committee? And I think Olivia has a motion. Your motion, Olivia?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at the appropriate time, I move the adoption of the report as given.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the nominations that you've heard, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, congratulations to the officers elected. And these officers will serve the 2024 through 2026 term of the board. So Olivia, on that, you stressed that the new chairman is Senator Hackworth. So I welcome you into that role. It is one that you will take great pride in, representing such a great place with such doing great things with such great people. Yes. So
Make sure I get that down.
I would love to continue to serve in this capacity, but I am term limited, thankfully just in this. But I will continue to be your chair through this meeting, and I will also continue to support this wonderful place. Travis, do you have any remarks you want to say?
Just thank the nominating committee for the confidence and that they had the wisdom to make Senator P my vice chair.
All right. So at this time, I hereby call upon Chairman-elect Hackworth to make his at-large appointments to the executive committee.
Yes. So, Mr. Chair, pursuant to Article 4, Section A of the board's bylaws, the chair appoints 2 members at large to the executive committee for the next term. I hereby appoint Donna Henry, UVA Wise Chancellor, and Adam Hutchinson, BHCC President.
All right, congratulations. Yeah.
We can clap.
Yeah, we can clap. Yeah, that's fine. Next on the agenda is public comments. An opportunity was provided to submit public comment or to submit written comments for the meeting to Kathy by 5 p.m. On Monday, June 10th. I don't think we received any public comments, right, Kathy? Okay. I understand there is a motion from the executive committee to amend the employment agreement of the executive director. So if I could call upon someone at Adam Hutchinson to give that motion from the executive committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board's employment agreement with Mr. Matlock is currently due to expire on January 24th of next year. He's expressed a desire to the members of the executive committee for an extension of this agreement, and it is the consensus of the committee members that the extension should be granted. Therefore, I move the board's executive director employment agreement with Mr. Matlock be extended to expire January 31st of 2026, and that the chairman authorized to work with Mr. Matlock in the Office of the Attorney General to prepare and execute any documents to effectuate this extension.
Okay. So you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion about the motion? I would just like to add that we are certainly thrilled that David has agreed to stay on. We joke a lot about the great things that are happening here, but it does take a great leader to make those things happen. And we are excited that you're going to continue with us for a few more years to make those things continue to be great.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Well, Tom, I mean, this is record
I
setting.
think it is a record. I think it's your last,
Really?
In fact,
I mean, this is my last meeting to chair and I have laid down the gauntlet.
He has made sure.
I've already whispered in Travis's ear, if you don't run the meeting like this, I won't be back. Anyway, so, and I know we're joking, but we are very efficient here and, in all we do, we're efficient, but we also do it right. And I appreciate everyone's participation. Is there any discussion from anyone, any board member have anything to bring forward at this time?
Mr. Chairman, before you do dismiss everyone for the reception, I don't know if you noticed the love sign out front. But we have love t-shirts to match our love sign. And so all we're asking is to get one. If your size isn't there, let us know and we'll get you a size. And here's what we're asking, that you take it on your travels around the world. And if you're at Disney World or on the Creeper Trail or in Richmond or Great Britain, right? That you wear the t-shirt and send us back a picture, because we're doing a whole theme on the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center.
We'll get him a size. It'll be
Okay.
Y'all have kid sizes.
It's medium. It's medium. All right. Betsy, we gotta get you down here. We gotta get you down here, Betsy. For one of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna come.
All right. Well, I'm gonna remind the board members that to put on your calendar, the next meeting is Thursday, December 12th. That's the proposed meeting. And now Senator Hackworth's known to change meetings around times and everything else.
When can you not be here?
Exactly. So that meeting is, the proposed date is Thursday, December 12th. With that, I will gladly accept a motion to adjourn and to go to the reception
Yes,
down the
just
hall.
all the way down the hallway at the landing deck. Hannah, we have lots of nice retreats and,
Lots of nice treats.
okay.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
So
All
moved.
right.
Second.
All right. We have a motion, a second. All right. We are now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Wow.
I apologize. Mine's always messed up too. I wish I'd say it fast. Right?
Yeah, it's